Welcome, Virgo, and happy birthday. I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate you. Let's turn to the cards, Virgo, and see what they have to say for you. I know week after week I've been telling you to hide behind stay in the background, do the background work, you know. So hopefully we don't have that same message show up again this week because this would be week number 4 that it would be coming in for, I think. Underlying energy. Okay, Virgo. Let's see what the cards bring to you. The Ace of Wands. Okay, well, this is definitely some kind of forward motion, okay? Even though it doesn't seem like we're doing much there, nothing's happening. A lot is actually happening because this is where we become decisive on how we're going to bring in, initiate the balance that needs to be in place in your life in order for the success to happen. I don't know how that's going to be possible yet, but let's get some more cards on the board and I'm sure we'll find out. Look at that. Our first card is the Tower card, Awakenings. Okay, so all that work that you had to do behind the scenes obviously it's really paying off for you because here we have the Tower card, the Awakenings. This is where, seriously, you are that ball, okay? You're that ball of light. And you come upon a truth, an understanding, an awareness. You don't look away from it, but rather you look it in the eye, and the knowledge, the wisdom, the clarity, the understanding that comes in actually blows off and blows through that glass roof, that glass ceiling. So I get the sense of awe almost within me of what could kind of, there's good potential here this week for you. I feel a good kind of um energy. So what you see something for the first time, you understand something, and it was probably in your motives or your habits or your behaviors, and you see where it's actually been working against you. And you never gave it any thought before, maybe, but or maybe it's bothered you for years, but you just didn't know how to bring in the change needed. But you have that aha moment, you have that epiphany, you have that awakening of what is needed to be done, and you break through the glass ceiling. You understand exactly how to go forward. Nine of Wands. Well, maybe not exactly how to go forward, but you know what? We're over probably one of the biggest limitations that have been holding us back. So if new opportunities were to arise, like this one here, oh, I'm going to have it that way at the end of it. So just put it that way now. Um, the Nine of Wands is, the path that you have walked in order to get to the here and now. So the ones in the background are all nice and tall and straight, and they all have growth on them, but they all started out like this twisted little guy here that you're holding in your hand. He's gnarled, he's stumpy, there's no growth whatsoever on him. And you are eyeing it up. You are looking at that wand. You are wondering, do I have what it takes to make it into the success it wants to be, or it could be, potentially be? And you've stood there many times before looking upon past challenges and you've had great success. So know that you probably have what it takes. You're wearing red, so you know that you have to bring in your courage, your passion in order to really be successful, that you have to give of yourself. You have to surrender to the path, so to speak, in order to really bring it into what it possibly could be. We also have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords, I'm going to say, careful on overworking, okay? Because it's showing up later in the energy. It's almost like you could overwork, you could, peter out, you could burn out, and then you become useless, and then you're not getting anything done. So make sure you're taking those little breaks. Those little breaks are necessary and important, and it's so that you can be as successful as possible in whatever you are doing and whatever you are stepping into. I wonder with this card here with the tower, if it's not some kind of awakening to the new you, like you are reinventing yourself in some way. You're looking at, yeah, you're reinventing yourself some way. You're creating a new you in some way. And maybe through that, part of it is understanding how to work smarter and not harder. And so not to find loopholes, but to make things work in your favor. Maybe refining your routine in some ways. It could be as simple as that. You know, making yourself more efficient, streamlining your energy. You're not going out for something to make for supper tonight and then coming home and then 2 hours later leaving for the drugstore to pick up that prescription and then coming home, waiting about an hour and then going to that doctor's office. You're going to make it all in one little loop. So when you're leaving, you're doing all these tasks at once. So you only leave once, right? And you're saving all that time leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back. And I know that's very simplified and you're probably already doing that, but use that theory, use that baseline to grow any steps in the way you need to in order to bring in the efficiency. So really think about how you can be more efficient in your world. I don't see this as, a lot of times I see this as your health, and I watch your health, but I think it's more like you could burn yourself out a little bit this week. So just pace yourself. Please just pace yourself so that you have the energy in order to do whatever you need to do whenever you want to do it. Okay. As we come into the week, we have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is all about doing your best job, putting your best foot forward in all situations and all environments. We know with this card that there are no shortcuts. And we know that with consistency, one brushstroke at a time, we get to the designated ending of exactly where we were aiming for, to the success. And so it could have been just a brief moment in time or something. You heard something, and that's what ignited all of this. You heard a certain song on the radio that took you back to a time in your life. And during that time in your life, there was that incident that happened. And all of a sudden you realize maybe the lesson you learned or how you react to certain peoples just because of who that person was at the time in the situation. Maybe you were fearful at the time, so you automatically just pull back from those kinds of people, even though you don't know why. You really, it's like, I just don't like people that wear glasses, I'm sorry. Or I don't like people that are bald, or I don't like people that wear green ties, or I don't like people who wear polka dotted dresses, whatever it might be. Okay. I don't like water slides, or I don't like those misting stations. I don't like roller coasters, whatever it might be for you, okay? To understand that in some way this pops, and it's probably none of the things I said actually, but rather something that applies more to your life. I was trying to, just throw it out there so that you think of where you're sitting and what is truly holding you back. What is that fear? Because I think something small can come in beginning of the week to kind of almost trigger you back to a point in time. Could just be your memory taking you back, your guides, God, the universe, kind of taking your thoughts back to a certain time so that you revisit that. But however you get there, go down that path. If you have the time, just sit there in those thoughts and see where it takes you, see where it leads, because you could make some profound breakthrough. And it could be, I'm almost thinking it's almost like health and well-being, because we have the health and well-being card on here. That is where the breakthrough comes. That is where the big, I know what to do now. I know how to structure this, or I know how to work it into my life, or I know how to, whatever it is, it's something to do with growing a stronger you. In some part of your life, or it could be your temple itself. Our final card. So how we go out of the week. You know what? That was supposed to be our overriding energy, but I read it like this, so we're going to keep it like this. I read it like this for a reason. There is no errors and mistakes when it comes to reading tarot, by the way. You just do it and receive the message. And if you put the card in the wrong place, then obviously you're supposed to read the cards in this order. So that's what I'm doing. The sun is how you leave the week. And you're not the only sign that leaves this week with this kind of empowerment about who you are, of how successful you've been, of the knowledge you hold within you. Virgo, you feel strong and capable. So whatever this health and well-being is here in your life, maybe it just is, taking time out for you, but really there is this strength about you, this glow about you, this feeling of accomplishment. I would almost tell you to get out there and socialize and network yourself towards the end of the week, or maybe going into next week, to maybe try and put yourself in front of the people that have power to vote you in, or or out of a job position or a promotion of some sort. Okay, so what's overriding this energy is the Nine of Swords. It's all those little details that get in the way, and we start thinking, well, what about this and what about that? And I never even thought of this, Tilly. And this, none of it matters. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, it's definitely not going to matter. Stop trying to, you know, it's where you're allowing your insecurities to play on you here. Okay. It really is. So yeah, so you're getting more than one trigger this week. Hate to break it to you, but you're getting more than one trigger so that you can go forward with a force to be reckoned with towards the end of the week. Start understanding where you see those insecurities, where you don't truly believe in yourself or your worth or your strength or your courage. I think that is vitally important for you this week, because that is holding you back from really going forward into a great future. Perhaps I didn't really read that as a future card, but if it is going to connect to work and careers, so I would have to say that we are, this is a time when we're holding a brand new opportunity that could really, turn our world on fire when it comes to our career, when it comes to growing our prosperity. I mean, so something could just come out of but this is where we really need to understand where we feel insecure and why we feel insecure. Once again, you could hear it from, just a conversation or a song playing. It takes you back to a certain time. You think, wow, at that time, while I was married and, the kids were, and you start to think and you're like, oh my goodness, that was when such and such happened. Could have been a passing of somebody, and you've never really truly just let go of that in your life. It can happen in so many ways, Virgo, but this is almost like a cancer inside of you, a darkness that you really need to release it, to let it go, to understand that that insecurity is only because you haven't done the final review. You haven't really recognized all the lessons that it contained for you. And once you look at it under a logical light, you see it, and then you pull away exactly the logical part of it, the lessons you learned, the understanding, the clarity. And yeah, the clarity should have maybe happened a while ago, but it happens in this moment for you now. And you're able to step into that moment of being offered a legacy, feeling a great desire and enthusiasm, a passion. Cradling this energy is the Knight of Cups. So I would have to say to allow your creativity to flow, to allow your inner expression to flow, to show the world your talents, your abilities, what you have to offer, what is so great about you in all areas of your life. Absolutely. And the more you feel good and confident about who you are, and you fall in love with yourself and allow other people to fall in love with you, absolutely. We enter it with, we enter our day-to-day have to do commitments, obligations, painting our tomorrow one brushstroke at a time, with an enthusiasm, with the confidence that we've got this. So where we doubted ourselves, we now see ourselves as strong and capable, grounded and ready to go forward with the strength. Once we let go of some of those insecurities, and we're not just letting go of them, we're looking them in the eye. We're telling them to get out of Dodge. There's a new sheriff in town. and you're taking over with positive affirmations and believing in yourself and growing your self confidence, growing yourself, yeah, growing the awareness of just how beautiful you are. And I think that becomes stronger as the week goes out. Work and career, we have the Nine of Cups, so it's your wishes fulfilled card. Do you want a promotion? Do you want more money? Like, what is it? What is it that you truly want, Virgo? Because that is exactly what's on the table for you. What do you want? And is it this new path that you see before you that you're holding, and it looks all stubby and gnarled, and you're thinking, but I just want, yeah, I understand that, but we all have to start on the bottom rung, okay? So it is, taking that bottom rung and saying, I'm going to get to the top faster than anybody else. Then that's all there is to it. I might even skip a couple of rungs because I might get very proficient at doing all of this very quickly. So watch me go, right? If you're trying to beat me, well, you're going to be eating my dust. Kind of energy comes in here. Once again, make sure that you are not, well, make sure you're not overworking. I would have to say the other part of this is don't ignore any kind of inner work to do. Okay, we should all be doing some kind of inner work each and every day. Just like we're supposed to exercise every muscle of our body, our soul, our intuition, our awareness of our beauty, our heart center, we can exercise each and every day by just sitting in a couple moments of deep breath and thought and turning our awareness to the beauty of who we are. And then seeing that light fill us and explode out of us as we cover every corner of the world. And if each and every one of us did something like that, I cannot tell you how powerful that would be on a planetary scale. Okay, let's go to love and relationships. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. If you've been going through difficulties, this is the time to let go of all the little stuff, all the little, nags and stuff like that. Let them all go. Okay, they don't really matter in the long. Bring it up, say, I don't like it. I want you to stop. If you can't stop, well, we're going to have to look at having another conversation about this because I don't think I can continue. Easy as that. You might want to smooth out some of that words. That was a little abrupt. It might not go over that well, but you do want the balance in still, right? We truly want the balance. So this is about knowing that the storm is actually over. Okay, any kind of storm that happens now, maybe you played a part in creating it. Okay, it's understanding what you truly want in a relationship, yes, and demanding those things, but you're not going to risk a whole bunch by doing that right now either. So you're not going to, say you're not going to do ultimatums or anything like that. More so, you're probably just going to worry about them instead of having those conversations. I think there is great love to attach to here because we do have the Knight of Cups. That is the knight in shining armor. That is the one of love. And I think you have to turn the love on yourself. Okay. I really don't get this as, your relationships with other people as much as I get more of career based and how excited you should be about going forward and having all your wishes come true. And I hope you have already started making a list on that. But for this card, I think that the great wealth comes from loving yourself, um, growing your own self-love, knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you are deserving. Go out and pamper yourself, give yourself a redo of something. Maybe it's your wardrobe, maybe it's how you present yourself, especially in the corporate world, because I see this kind of like career advancement or this great breakthrough that you can have. You rock the world going forward, I tell you. So there's something here. There's some kind of work to do this week, and if we pay attention to that work as it shows up, like figure out what triggers you perhaps, and why that trigger came up, and you might be releasing, although I think it's just like you're listening to a song and it takes you back to an era. I really kind of get that for almost each and every one of you, that in some way you'll be triggered into a point in time when something happened in your life, and the only reason that holds so much pain, especially, or so much value or worth to your soul, is because you have not looked at it perhaps and understood all the lessons, all the wisdom it was imparting to you at the time. And once you take that wisdom, the limitation disappears, the obstacle is no more. The tripping wire, you can't put them into place for yourself anymore, because we intentionally, unconsciously trip ourselves up so that we don't get too far ahead, that we don't get too far out of our comfort zones, that we kind of stay within our balances here, our lines, our square, our circle, our box. And that's understanding where that tripping wire was for you. And once that's missing, well, the sky's the limit. It's anything your heart desires, sweetheart. So, Virgo, embrace that. Let's get one more card. We get the hangman. Yeah. Sit there and really look at, you're going to have a new perspective of everything almost by the time next week starts to roll around for you. So observe some of those situations that you are in, understand the value of your time, your energy, and understand the value of, yes, your money in your hands or your money in somebody else's hands. So it could even be just a little bit, maybe it's a fleeting thought midweek, because that card's right in the middle, of other people's money, maybe how to utilize it, maybe how to pay it back, maybe how to have more balance within that. So it could be, a mortgage, or it could be, a car payment, or maybe you split rent with somebody else. And understand maybe how you could actually, maybe go for that bank loan or something in order to bring in harmony in a way that you couldn't any other way, or in love and beauty and all that jazz. But it's really understanding, you get this clarity, you get this understanding of where the balance needs to be and how to keep things in balance. And that leads you to understand how to look at your life in a different way, and where the energy needs to be put, where the priorities are, where you need to apply your potential. Okay, see your beauties, love yourself. There is a lot of energy here to grow your own personal empowerment, that's for sure. Some kind of health, wellness breakthrough, or some kind of breakthrough. At least I kind of got health and wellness, but really the breakthrough could be anywhere. And I would have to say that your dreams come true in work and career. There's some kind of advancement, some kind of award, some kind of recognition, some kind of movement forward, definitely for you, Virgo. So until we meet again, remember, I do love you.